Hey guys, how's it going? It's Keto, and welcome to my How to Make Pictures for Naruto-arena tutorial. And this is going to be part 1, and all we're doing in this video is getting the screenshots and cropping it. And we're doing that because each part of the process is something that somebody wants to learn probably, but isn't probably something that everybody wants to learn. So I'd rather split the video up into 5 different parts, and as people wish to pick which one they want to do, they can do that. And I'm all gonna upload these today though, so it's not like you're gonna have to wait for these videos to come out or anything. So I basically have a recording in the background of me watching the anime and getting a bunch of screenshots and cropping a bunch of pictures. So from this point forward, I'm going to start speeding it up to 300% speed, and I'm just going to talk about some tips and tricks, some things I do, and you can use the video as reference for what you can do, or you can use my words as a guide for that. So either way, you can do both, it doesn't matter, but let's speed it up now, and I'll get to talking about little tips and tricks I have for getting your screenshot and then cropping. Okay, so first off, if you haven't been able to tell already, this is a Photoshop guide. So GIMP's not going to cut it, you're going to need Photoshop, so make sure you have that. Anyway, also make sure that you're finding your screenshots in a place that has high definition, high quality videos. So crunchyroll.com is what I use, but that requires a subscription. But you do get a free 1 month trial even when you first sign up. So regardless, it's not that expensive. It's like $10 a month if you can afford it. If you can't, there's the Naruto Wikia. Just Google that, and that's a pretty good place to find photos. You're just not going to find unique stocks that way. So also here in the video, I'm drawing those red lines on the face pick to show the space beneath the chin and above the eyes that you want to have between that and the border of the image. Anyway, so when you're cropping, you basically want to fill in the image with whatever you have. Like in this instance, it's Hanzo with his scythe. You want to fill in the image with what the skill is going to be. So that's why I zoom in here, because I wanted it to be focusing in on his scythe. It's a scythe skill. I don't want it to just be his body, his torso. I mostly just want it to be him with his arm and holding the scythe. We're blocking here, so this is zooming pretty fast, but anyway, you just want to crop in and focus in on what you want the skill to be. So if it's going to be an attack, focus in on the attack. Don't just like generically have a huge amount of space with the attack in a small little part of the image. You don't want that. You want it to be pretty much as focused and as close as it can be, which is what I always try to do. And also I gather, pretty much almost any skill option that I can find. And that's because the editing process, I have found a way to make it so much easier, so much less taxing, and so much less annoying. It's automated now, and I used to have to do them one by one. So when we get to the editing portion of this guide, I will show you exactly how to do that. And even if I'm going to get like Hanzo pictures too, like I am in this video, if I see another character's pick, like Chio's here, that I think has some good potential, I always make sure to grab it. And, I even see Ibuse, the salamander here, and I was like, man, I gotta grab this face pick. This might be cool. I might be able to make a salamander character even. So, I'm also going to show you guys a little trick here. So even though it's got those corners, you can use the Band-Aid tool to, make the image look normal again, which is a nice little trick. So, the Band-Aid tool comes in handy for, if you rotate something. Here, I'll do it again. And you have like the sides of the video player, and you just use it, cover it up, and it creates part of the image that looks exactly like the rest of it. So it looks completely natural. It's like I never even had part of the video player in the damn fucking shot. It's beautiful, and it's a very useful tool. So if you've never used it before, it's useful for situations like that. Anyway, I'm also completely self-taught with Photoshop, guys. I learned this like just by trial and error. So I've never taken an Adobe class. I've never, I've read very, very few guides or sources on what to do and how to do it. So don't try to talk to me like I'm some expert. Like, if I'm messing up, if I do something wrong, tell me, but don't assume that I shouldn't be. I'm self-taught. And this is where the Band-Aid tool also comes in handy, because I wanted a picture of just Ibuse in that, so you can use it to like get rid of Hanzo. Anyway, so yeah, just little things you can do while cropping, but just use my crops or the ways that I do it as, sort of reference for how you should, because I think I make pretty decent crops, and I think that my images turn out looking pretty good. Make sure to save them all PNG, 75 by 75 pixels for skill pics, and 90x90 pixels for face pictures. And I always, just create a folder for this video in particular. It's called like YouTube video or something. And I save all my screenshots, each one in that folder. And also make sure that you are drawing an even box around the image that you're cropping. You don't want it to be like 356x 722 pixels, because then your image is going to come out looking weird and wrong. It should be an even square, and you can do this in Photoshop by holding down Shift while you are dragging the box to crop, and it will automatically be an even sized box. So it's not difficult. You can do it fairly easy. It's the easiest, and it's very helpful too. Anyway, so that's pretty much, I think, all I have left to say on cropping and getting screenshots. It's one of the most time-consuming parts of this process. Luckily, the next couple parts are pretty simple. And so next video is going to be resizing, which I'm going to show you you're probably not going to want to do in Photoshop, though I'm going to show you how to do it anyway. But I'm going to show you 3 different ways how to resize. So hopefully this has been helpful to you guys. But anyway, I'll see the rest of you in the next video. It's been your boy Keto. Hopefully this guide is going to be helpful to everyone. And peace. Bye. Hey guys, and welcome back to Naruto-arena Photoshop tutorial part 2. And this is going to be resizing. So to resize your images, you're going to take the images that you cropped out and saved from when you screenshotted them, and see they're in your folder there, and you're going to bring them to simpleresizer.com. This is your first option. I'm going to give you 3 options. So simpleresizer.com. This is like the manual way. This is, you do it one at a time. For face pics, you resize to 90x90. And for skill pics, you resize to 75x75. So when you do it with this site, I believe personally you get the best quality. And I could show you a little comparison, but I don't think it's going to be able to be noticed on the video. So instead, just like resize an image here, resize the same image at the other website I show you, and resize your third image in Photoshop, and then compare them. And just look at which one you think has the best quality. Now this one may look like the most blurry in a way, but that's a good thing, because the other ones look like they're jagged. They're too sharp because they have had pixels removed from them. That means their quality has been reduced. So this one doesn't really have a reduction in pixels like you see with resizing in Photoshop or resizing on the other site, but this way it takes hella long. Like this is the long way. So this site you gotta do it one at a time. because then you got to like, open it up in new tabs. And then once you've resized every image, you got to go to each new tab and save each pic one by one. It takes a long time, but this is how I prefer to do it. This is my preferred way. And let's move over to the easier way, the other website. Okay, so this is picresize.com, I believe. Yeah, picresize.com. And this is a website where you can do it in batches. So you can do the whole folder at once. I obviously do face pictures and skill pictures separately because they are two different sizes. You can't resize, two different sizes in the same fucking batch. So that's why you see here me selecting, certain images, because I'm trying to select all the skill pics and not any of the face pics. So this website, it's a lot easier than the other website. It does it all for you, puts it into a folder, you download the folder, then you extract the folder into where you need it, and you've got it. And you're all good to go. So if you don't want to, take your time, the quality is not the best, but it's like nobody's going to notice. Only somebody who's making pictures is going to notice that little tiny like bit of quality that you lose. But, for somebody like me who really cares about that, obviously this website is not how I'm going to resize my pics. However, I understand its appeal. All right. And if you want to just do it, without having to use any external websites, and the reason we have to do this, or we don't have to, the reason we do this in general is because resizing in Photoshop really does lose you some quality. And I don't know why these websites, or in particular the first one, keeps that quality, but for some reason it does. And I've been told this by people who've been making pics for years. And I've, noticed this myself making pictures, but it's okay to resize in Photoshop. You're just not going to get the best quality as you could have had. But regardless, I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's move over to that now. All right. So this is super simple. Find your image, bring it up, and then resize it to 90 by 90 if it's a face pic. And make sure you click bilinear. Any other option is gonna mess it up. The only option you should be using is bilinear. Okay, so 75 by 75 for skill pics, 90 by 90 for face pics. Make sure it's bilinear. And I'm showing a comparison here between all three. So yeah, the one in the middle is gonna be the first website. The one on the left is the second website, and I think the one on the right is Photoshop. So this is just going to compare all three. You can see that the difference in quality is super small. Like, people aren't really going to notice this thing. You're only going to notice this if you're the one making the pictures, really. But, if you care about quality, I'm telling you, the first website is the way to go. So anyway, next episode is going to be effects and automating those effects. So I'll be uploading it in a second. Thanks for watching. It's been your boy Keto, and I hope this is helping you guys out. So, peace and butt grease. Bye. Okay, hey, what's going on, guys? We're doing our final part of this tutorial for naruto-arena photos. So, this is effects. So now that we have everything resized and saved, after we have screenshotted and cropped it, we are going to open up one of our resized photos, and we're going to go to layers. Well, actually, before that, I'm going to show you how to automate everything, okay? So first, go to Window and click Actions. All right, so after that, you're going to want to go to Create New Action and select Batch Actions. So there's Default, and then there's Batch. Select Batch, and then I do this for every new batch of pictures. Because every time you go and screenshot, pictures from an episode, the episode will have a certain type of lighting that means if you try to use the automation settings you used for your last batch, where it was a different episode or something, it would have different lighting, which means that your automation is going to come out probably not looking right, unless you make it super, super general with the effects. But I kind of like to go, decently hardcore with my colors. So just select one photo and create a new batch action for every new batch of pics you create. Alright, so let's name ours Hanzo 2. So I've already created settings for this, but for the video I'm going to just do it here. So when you hit record now, everything you do from this point forward is recorded. Every setting. So let's convert to smart object here in layers and go to other, filter other, high pass. Radius is going to be 0.3, and then over here in our layers for smart filters it says high pass. You're going to right click this part right here and you're going to change the mode from normal to overlay. This sharpens your photo. So next we're going to go to filter, blur, surface blur, radius 3, threshold 4. Now you can go 6, 8, or 12 depending on how much blur you need, but for newer episodes, for ship it in 1080p episodes, 4 is good enough. Okay, then we're going to start editing, and so we go to image, adjustments. Well, actually I do auto contrast first. So image, auto contrast, and then adjustments, brightness and contrast, -15 bright, +15 contrast. Image adjustments, shadows and highlights, 35%. Image adjustments, levels, and I like to raise this up, probably 235. And then I bring this over to probably 30. And then sometimes I'll move this either up or down depending. For this image I'm going to move it to 95. And then click OK. And then image adjustments, color balance, cyan 10, yellow 5, -5. Okay, click OK, and see how this image looks? It's going to apply these exact settings to every image in the batch. Now if this isn't right, you can go and redo this until you get it right. So, but I mean, if you don't want to do it this way, you can just go and, do every picture one by one, like how we just did. But if you're going to do it the batch way, once you get to the color balance setting, open back up your view windows, actions, and click the stop buttons to stop the recording. Okay? And then you're going to delete this image. Don't save it. Hit no. Then you're going to go to File, Automate, Batch. Okay, now you got to click the setting or the recorded action that you did. So we did Hanzo 2. Okay, now we're going to select the folder we're going to use to make the batch of images of. So we're using our YouTube video photo folder. So we're going to select that. Okay, now we're going to choose where to save our batch. Okay, so we'll just create a new one. We'll just call it YouTube batch. And then select folder and make all your settings look how mine look. Okay, so suppress file open options, suppress color warnings, etc. Then everything should be good. Click OK. And it will do the entire group of photos with those settings we just did. And then we'll see how it looks in a second. Okay, so this is our stocks, resize stocks. Here's our YouTube batch. And yeah, everything came out looking great actually. It looks wonderful. Perfect. So yeah, that's how I do pics, guys. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Hope this helps you. And yeah, I'm glad that you guys have been giving me some positive feedback about the tutorial. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. And peace out. Bye.